Now, linear TV is going through a really complicated change at the moment. I mean, every day I read about stories of doom and gloom, of reduced advertising budgets. You know, it's all flux and change, but is it all doom and gloom? Because at the same time, you can hear stories about, like, you know, the fact that no other technology can deliver that size of audience. Absolutely colossal audiences, millions of people all watching telly at the same time. So clearly, no one really knows what's going on, which is brilliant. Now, when I first started working in television, about 1981, there were basically 4 channels in this country: BBC One, BBC Two, ITV and Channel 4, and that was it. And Channel 4 only started in the early 80s, so there used to be 3. When I was a kid, there was 2, and when I was a baby, there was only 1. So, you know, it has changed a great deal. And now, if I look on our satellite television, we have just over 700 channels of television. 700 channels. That's changed it quite a bit. But out of those 700 channels on our television, personally, and I'm talking only personally here, I reckon 690 of them are utterly unwatchable. You see, everybody in linear television is all worried about the internet and what's going to happen with things like YouTube and all the download movie services, but I think something much bigger and more important has happened on telly, which has got nothing to do with the internet at all. Absolutely nothing. It's more about a change in our society. It's that profound. A bit of old school history here. When I first started working in television in 1982, I actually went to the BBC to do an audition to play a part in a comedy drama series, which is about some crazy kids who just went out on their own and set up their own pirate punk TV channel, and everything just went crazy and wild. They all had spiky hair and big wide shoulders. It was a sort of period piece, really, when you think about it. Now, the important thing about this experience is that the audition room I went into at the BBC Television Centre in London was full of men. The writer was a man, the producer was a man, the editor was a man, the director was a man. In fact, the only woman in the room was the woman who'd photocopied the scripts. Now, if you go into any broadcaster's office in this country now, the first thing you'll notice is that it is absolutely full of women. Now, I admit there are still men working in the television industry, and interestingly enough, most of them work in the absolute upper echelons of it. They're the management, they're the bosses, they're the owners, and they earn all the money. But the actual programs themselves are being produced, thought up, scheduled, commissioned, and most importantly of all, watched by women. Now, please don't get me wrong, I'm really not saying this is bad or this is wrong. I think it's brilliant. I think it's fantastic that there is one industry in this country where women effectively dominate the television industry. I think it's fantastic that women have worked their way up through that system and have managed to take over effectively. The commissioning editors, a hell of a lot of commissioning editors, the people who decide which programs get made and when they get shown, are women. But I have to say, as a man, I find it hard to watch 90% of what is classified broadly as reality shows. I just can't even be in the room when they're on. Yeah, I mean, for a while I thought it was because I was too old, or that television had gone down the pan and I must write to the BBC at once and say, what is this rubbish? Please, 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 can we have old school linear TV back? But I didn't think that. No, I wasn't right. What I realised was it's women's TV. Women watch TV. And in fact, statistically now, more women watch television, linear television, than men do. Whereas 20, 30 years ago, when I first started working in telly, it was exactly the other way around. All you ever heard was a woman moaning about, oh, all he does is sit down and watch the telly. Now, you ask any man in this country who's married to a woman and has got daughters, where's your wife, what's your daughter doing? They're sitting down and watching rubbish telly. So I really don't think it's anything like as simple as the internet being the death knell for linear television. I think the two things will live side by side for many years. I mean, and also, as many people have pointed out in the comments section under my previous clips about the future of telly, you know, you can get a little wire and you stick it into your telly from your computer, and you can watch films from your telly on the computer. And I mean, soon there's going to be loads of those little boxes, you know, Apple TV, all those things. There's going to be loads of new ones where, you know, you download movies or programs or whatever that you can watch whenever you want. I mean, that's not even interesting, really, is it? It's just normal. It's just what's going to happen with technology. I'm not that bothered about that. But at the moment, I'm working with 2 highly intelligent, very well-educated, witty, charming, clever, funny women who clearly, from their conversations, watch an enormous amount of this television. I mean, I'm embarrassed. I'm sitting there. They have actually told me my duty this week is to sit down and watch the formats of all these different reality shows, because I just haven't been able to do it. So it is a bit of a challenge for me. I'm going to have to do that. I don't know how I'm going to. I might have to sort of get drunk, get stoned. If I get completely ripped out of my skull, I might be able to sit there and go like that. And, you know, because I just can't watch them. All the shows about women who get thin, or women who get told how to dress properly, or people who make over their houses and redecorate them in 10 minutes, or do their gardens up, or celebrities who learn how to skate, to sing, to dance, to play instruments, to work on a farm, to live in a house together and have lots of rows. You know, I find it really hard to watch. What I find fascinating is that these two women clearly watch this stuff, and it hasn't made them stupid or boring or dull. I mean, they're really funny and interesting and clever. So, okay, now, you could throw things like The Sopranos, or 24, or Lost, or The Mighty Boosh, or late night chat shows where people say fucking cunt a lot. You could throw those at me and say, that's men's telly, there's still men's telly. Yes, absolutely, there is a lot of telly that is really specific. Top Gear. Interestingly, though, Top Gear has an enormous amount of women watching it, but those sort of programmes you could say are men's programmes, effectively. And I mean, the whole argument about what is women's television and men's television is very dicey. I agree with you. I absolutely think it's a dodgy area. But if you look at the schedules, I would argue, and I'm arguing this point very strongly, that the vast majority of the airtime on the small screen is taken up with what I would classify, broadly speaking, as women's television. I think the important clue is check the adverts. On commercial televisions, check the adverts. Check how many adverts you would classify as being more or less designed to appeal to a male audience. You know, for cars, shaving equipment, there's got to be something else. But if the rest of the adverts, who are they aimed at? I mean, they're aimed at women, because women watch television more than men. What are men doing? I mean, they're probably wanking. Wanking. Let's stick with Matt. Well, the woman is watching... No, I'm not going to fucking say this. No, I'm not saying wanking. I am not going to say wanking on YouTube. It's just wrong, because anybody can watch this. I don't want to do that. So I've learned my lesson. I mean, basically at the moment I am developing a new show, a celebrity slimming show, where the celebrity has to learn to sing, skate on ice, do some gardening, make over a home, live in a small house with 30 other people for 2 weeks, and you can, there's a phone vote thing, so you can vote in so the audience can have some interaction, and the production company can make a staggering amount of money. Yeah, right. One last thing before I go. Now, I was talking to a linear TV person the other day, and they go, YouTube, I mean, who wants to watch that? Just a load of dogs on skateboards. Well, just to not disappoint them, check this. Okay, now I know, strictly speaking, this isn't a skateboard, but strictly speaking, this, come here, this is a dog. This is Daisy. She's a 6-year-old terrier belonging to my daughter. Sit down, good girl. She's a very obedient dog. She doesn't smell very nice today. I think she may have found a dead badgie. She loves it. She's really enjoying it. It's not cruel at all. It's not cruel. There you go. Very slowly on a skateboard. 1, 2, 3. Whee! Okay, we'll do her other tricks. Come here, Diz. Come here. Sit down. Sit down. Oh, that's sitting down. Oh, all right, there we go. I'll give you a tickle on the tummy for being such a good girl on the skateboard. It's very scary. It's a big skateboard coming. Whoa!